Papa, why did you do that thing that fucked up or whatever, you know?
Why can't you piss in the toilet?
Yeah. Because you can't aim right. Now I'm gone, Papa.
Leftovers, 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 leftovers.
Whoa!
And welcome out Leftovers Pod. This was James. Oh,
This-
no, it is James. It is James.
You did this that one time, too.
I know.
This is Alex.
And you're listening to the Leftovers Podcast. I know I said that already, but we're going to just keep going.
All
with
right.
it. And today we're talking about relationships because we are professional relationship gurus. If you need to know how to get a girl, you can definitely ask us.
Yeah.
That's it, though.
Yeah.
Don't expect a good answer.
Don't expect a answer. I might just look at you and just be like, you know? And put my hands in the
I
air
don't
and
fucking
just be
know you,
like,
dude. Why are you
yeah.
asking me shit?
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, this is a fucking Costco. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
I just wanted the free sample.
I'm waiting for the chicken.
But I recently heard this interesting take. I heard it on a different show. It was JK News, and I talked about it a lot in the last podcast, whatever. But I heard this interesting take from one of the people, Joe. His wife, Hannah, brought up an interesting point that was divorce is a choice.
Interesting.
And Joe also brought up another thing where he didn't really believe that people can be in love from beginning to end. I mean, you can find your person, but you got to go in waves of sometimes I really, really am into this person, and sometimes I just want to get the fuck out of here, right? But you never lose that love. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't think it's the love that comes in waves. And I know that's what he meant. It wasn't the love necessarily. It was more of like everything around being in a relationship, like the affection, the attraction. I think that's what the word he used. Like you're not going to be attracted to your wife every fucking day of your life
thing
if
is,
they
like,
piss you off.
Because also, yeah, because you're not, if you're mad, you're not going to be all like, yeah, you look good, you know, because you're mad.
It's like, no, you fucking told me to leave the fucking toilet seat open for the 1,000th time. look, woman, are you going to fall in?
Oh my God. Dude, I'm so bad at like peeing in the toilet. I realize this.
You've had plenty of time to get good at it.
I know, but like, maybe I've always known, but I've never had it pointed out. There was one time where me and my girlfriend were in a hotel and she told me that there was piss on the ground or whatever. And I was like, oh no. And I was even like so like lost. I was like, me? You know, because I was just like, I didn't do that. Because like in my mind, I'm like, I don't do that. Like obviously
It's just you two though.
Yeah, and it's only me and her in the room. So I'm like, who else is it going to be?
You're in your head, you're like, man, it must have been you, dude. Yeah. I don't do that shit.
Yeah. And that was a wake up call. And it's just like, you know, like at some point, probably in our relationship, I'm going to do it again. And she's going to call me out. And like, I probably will get mad. And I'll be
And
like,
she's definitely not looking at you like, oh, that's just a cute thing my boyfriend does.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing like, yeah, he fucking does that and I hate that
yeah.
shit.
It's like, can you believe he just can't get in the toilet? It's this big. How do you miss a thing this big?
This big and his thing is this small.
Oh,
it just
no. It's just everything out in the open.
I don't know if I agree with it, but I do at the same time because of being in a longer term relationship than you. I think that, and I've been very vocal about this, that me and my girlfriend definitely had waves go in our relationship.
Yeah, actually, I would like to hear your opinion because I feel like with mine, it's so new that I'm just like always in love.
Right.
Yeah.
The honeymoon phase, we call it.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely think that being in a longer term relationship, you face a lot more challenges as an adult. Because I've been in a long-term relationship, quote unquote, as a teenager, and there's no challenges except the ones that you make up for yourselves.
Yeah.
Whether it's jealousy or just things like that.
Yeah.
They're stupid and don't really have any base. But as an adult, there's a lot of real life issues, right?
Yeah.
And my opinion is it is true. I definitely think my girlfriend does not love me every single... Like, she does love me.
Yeah, but
But
you make
she-
it really hard.
I make it very difficult some days, right, to love me.
Yeah.
Right? And vice versa. There's days where she makes it difficult to want to, hang out because of work,
Yeah.
because of stress, because of whatever. Sometimes it's actually a lot of times, it's not things that have to do with either one of us, right? So one of the...
But wait. Guess what?
What?
You know who will always love you?
Who?
Your boy Alex.
We definitely go in waves too.
Oh, no! You a bastard. You go in waves.
So you, at this moment, honestly, you just feel like it's all Gucci right now.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, same.
Really?
I
Wow.
know it sounds crazy to say that because I've never complained to you obviously, and most people, I don't complain about my relationship stuff because it's not nobody's business. It's my business, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely think I always feel like it's Gucci. Even when we're fighting though, because I know when I fucked up and I know when they stepped on her toes, but I also understand that at the end of the day, I can also be like, oh, I fucked up. Hey,
Yeah.
we still have to go to this thing.
Yeah.
Or we still have to, we have date night, whatever it is. And we're still going to follow through, right? There hasn't been an issue where it's been so bad we have to cancel a date night. There's been work. There's been stress that makes us cancel, but it's nothing between us. So I think when I look at it, I'm always going to be like, it's Gucci. Even when, on the outside, it's not, right?
It's kind of like always just keeping the bigger picture in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
We have goals for our relationship, and I think we're both looking at the same goal. I think where we would not be Gucci is if we didn't align on that. And I don't think we did in the beginning of our relationship. I think that took a little while for us to both align. Mostly me get on the same path as her. But I think once she kind of opened my eyes more and she made me realize like this is definitely what I want.
Yeah.
It made it a lot easier to look at problems and go, you know what? It's a problem today. Probably won't be a problem in a week.
Yeah.
Right.
As
So
opposed to just making it like your whole world in that moment.
yeah, and I think in the honeymoon phase, that was the scariest thing for me and her. It was the fact that any fight felt like the end all be all because
Yeah.
it was so fresh and it felt like any fight could make this relationship make or break. I think that's the nice thing of a long-term relationship is that you feel the stability of even in a bad fight, not a bad fight, but like in a bigger than normal argument, you feel that stability.
Yeah. Honestly, because, I'm very early on, I feel that because it's like, say there's like some type of argument or some type of spat or whatever. In my mind, I'm like picturing like the kids that we would have had, and then I'm just like, now they're gone because this fight's like happening, and I'm just like, I'm
Like Infinity War at the end.
Yeah, it's like exactly. I'm like, no, I
They're
can't.
leaving.
Yeah, or then like just like like I see this going like the long term, and I'm just like, no, like that's my wife. Like she's gone now, and it's just like,
And the little one in the back going, Papa!
yeah, and it's just like
I'm not feeling so good, Papa.
Papa, why did you do that thing that fucked up or whatever,
Why can't you piss in the toilet?
Yeah, because you can't aim right. Now I'm gone, Papa. But it do be like that. Like it just be like these little things, and like all of a sudden you're just like, oh, now like everything's crumbling, and it's just like it's not. Like it's just like an issue. It's just like something that's gonna happen today. We get over it, and then it's just like we just continue sailing,
Right. It's hard to give advice for dating in general, but it's harder when you're an adult. I think being in a relationship as an adult can be really challenging, and it's hard to talk about it with other people because everyone I feel like as we become adults, you become more not selfish, but you don't want to burden people with your problems because you're more aware that everyone has problems. And I feel like in a relationship, that's the hardest part. As an adult, you have to open up and say and be vulnerable and be like, hey, I'm not doing well financially, or I'm not doing well mentally. And to tell a brand new relationship that, it makes it really hard.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's something that I learned really early on in my relationship. And I think it saved it too. I think honestly it saved it in a lot of times when I realized like, oh, we're not communicating because we don't know how to be vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to express what I'm feeling. I just expect you to get it.
Yeah.
And that was a big problem I had. But it's also like, hey man, read the fucking room.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Like, can't you tell that when I'm like this, it means this?
Can't you read my fucking mind?
I thought you were psychic.
I thought you were psychic since you jump on all these conclusions all the time. But yeah,
Wait, if you're saying that she was psychic and jumping to these conclusions all the time, that means that she would have been right about those conclusions.
hey,
'cause-
fuck you, dude. Don't restart my shit. I remember one time, and I don't know how happy she's gonna be to me say this, but I don't care.
Okay.
She earned this one.
Okay.
I remember there was a time when I used to complain a lot that she would not admit when she was wrong. Because she would call me out. She would literally fact check me. She would Google
wow.
something, and I'm like, hey, man, let it go. And now I can laugh at it because it is funny now because I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? Are you going to let it go, man?
Yeah.
But there was a point where it pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you don't believe in me.
Yeah.
But,
No, it's not that she doesn't, just that you're wrong.
I was wrong a lot of the times. I was wrong. So I did earn that.
Yeah.
God,
God, I would hate to be fact checked so bad. I'd be like, God damn it.
It's crazy, right? But she just has this thing where it's like, if I'm not certain about something,
Yeah.
she needs that full answer.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't understand that, and I would never completely explain myself.
Yeah.
So she would have to resort to Google to get the rest of it because she also didn't feel comfortable being like, "Can you tell me more about this?" Because maybe in her head she was like, "Oh, I'm really interested in this. I just don't know how to express that."
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, one time I got her ass. I fucking got her ass. It was some like weird architecture set, or I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
And I said it, and she was like, "No, I think it's actually this." And I was like, "Oh, my turn to fact check." And I Google. I'm like, "Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that shit!"
And I bet you handled that with grace.
Oh, I took it like a humble. I was the most humble man on earth that day.
Yeah.
I definitely looked her in the eye and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, you're not right this time, and that's okay, right?
Okay.
I have the Google sheet right here that shows me what I know.
Yeah.
Right.
And then how did it actually go?
Oh, I fucking like jumped around and I ran around the car.
Yeah, I bet.
And then I got in trouble for
Yeah,
that.
I bet you were in her face and you were pointing a lot. You're just
I
like,
no. I handled it with way more grace.
Yeah.
But I was definitely screaming like, "I got her."
Yeah, I got her. Hey, hey, everybody, I got her.
But it's hard. Bringing it back to the prompt, that's what I think of what Joe meant. That it wasn't really, you go in waves, and those waves sometimes are just basically, we're not getting along. I don't think it's always attractiveness. I think sometimes it's just straight up, we're not getting along as partners. We still love each other. We're still going to be there for each other, and we're going to do everything.
Yeah.
But there's waves where it's like, we are just not communicating, or we're not getting along on the right foot. And it can be because of a million factors. Maybe she's having a hard time at work. Maybe she's having a hard time at home.
Yeah.
I don't know this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And maybe she doesn't want to burden me with that stuff. And I
Yeah.
should also understand that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that when you're not communicating.
Yeah, like it's so tough to be like in a situation where like both of you don't want to burden the other,
Right.
and then it just becomes a thing where it's like you just become like distant, and it's like for what, you know? It's just like it just takes a moment just to be vulnerable and just be like, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling," and they could be like, "You know what? I'm feeling the same way too," and it's like, "Oh, this is why I'm thinking this, or whatever. This is why I've been thinking that," and yeah, I don't know. It's sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's tough, you know?
Right. But I also think that I like this point they made. They said any relationship that doesn't, like even a friendship, if your friendship's never challenged, it's not a real friendship.
I agree.
And I 100% believe that with relationships too. If you never get to a point where you have to look at each other and be like, do we want this for the rest of our life? I don't think your relationship's been challenged. I know it sounds so stupid. It's like, oh, when you're in the perfect relationship, everything is Gucci. Everything
Yeah.
is always perfect. Like, it's like, no, you do have to go over some bumps along the way. And yes, it's not going to be stuff that's as serious as like cheating or like financial, taking your monies, things like that. It shouldn't be like that. That's not cool.
Yeah.
That's just a crime.
Yeah.
Right. But when it comes to things like, hey man, are we on the same values?
Yeah.
Do we have the same goals in our relationship? And if you can't face, or just simply like, hey, we're spending we're working together and we're fighting and bickering because of, we're
Yeah.
micromanaging each other or something.
Yeah.
I do think relationships should be challenged in that way, but I also think there's levels to it. It shouldn't get to a point where you can't respect each other anymore.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, make or break. I think once you don't respect your partner, it's donezo.
Ooh, that's the hot take.
That's my hot take, I guess. I don't think it's a
Honestly,
hot take. I think it's a simmer.
I think it's just standard, like once you just don't respect the other person, it's like, how can you continue on?
But I don't think a lot of people face this.
Yeah. I think it's just like you face like little spats or whatever, but like it doesn't ever get to that point.
But I also think this is why a lot of guys are so like hesitant to get married or commit to relationships, because facing some of these realities is hard.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing about like exactly this. It was very hard for me to say I'm not communicating properly the way I feel to my own girlfriend. But when I did that, it really reminded me I'm not doing this, and this is why we're arguing so much, because I'm the one who's not communicating well, and she doesn't know how to express that to me as well.
Yeah.
So one of us has to man up and say, this is what's happening, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it goes both ways though, right? If I couldn't face myself, who knows if my relationship could have lasted this long, right? If
Yeah.
I could not accept the fact that I was messing it up, who knows, right? And vice versa too, right? If everything was Gucci, but I couldn't face myself and say, is there any problems that I could do better? Or am I actually feeling the love for them? If I can't confront like these harder feelings, then it's going to be very hard for someone to commit to a relationship long term.
Yeah.
I think that's part of growing up though. Growing up is going to be having to face these harder conversations. And sometimes the outcome is positive.
Yeah.
Like when I faced the fact that, like, honest to God, when I faced myself and I said, hey, do I want to spend the rest of my life with this girl? Good and bad, weighed out. I didn't have to do that. I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna literally have to make a list and say, good stuff.
Yeah.
She don't hit that hard. Bad things. The frequency's often.
Frequencies often. No, but like
But-
earlier when you were saying that like sometimes it's a good thing, I think it's always a good thing. Like, cause then like even if like you ask yourself these questions and then like the answer ends up being like no, you know, like say for example you do see that like you're like, oh no, I don't see myself with this person, then you can get to that realization faster.
Yeah.
And then you can save both of you guys time, you know?
But what if she's like not down? She's like, you're wrong.
It's like a thing where it's like I'm breaking up with you. It's like actually you're not.
Dude, in high school, it was
crazy.
so hard for people to understand that, huh? You would see relationships break and one person would be torn apart.
Yeah.
They would be like, it's over for me.
Uh-huh.
It's over.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it now. That's your whole world.
Yeah.
And as an adult, if it happens now, it's going to fucking hurt.
Yeah.
But you know you still have to wake up to work in the morning.
That's the same thing about the other thing from earlier where it's like you look at the bigger picture.
Right.
Because say it's a boat, right? Say that there's like this one wave that happens. It's like this one upset that happens. If you immediately are like, my boat's gonna sink, my boat's going down, like it will fucking go down, basically, you know? Like,
And you're not helping the situation.
Yeah, if you're like, it's gonna go down, so I'm gonna jump off either way,
Right.
you know, you're gonna die. But then it's like if you look at the bigger picture and you're like, hey, that's a really small wave. You know, like
This is Mount Olympus. This is raging waters.
yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, like everything's fine. We're on a like Titanic ship. Not actually, that's a bad example because that went down. But you're on like a big ass fucking cruise ship or something. Actually, that's also bad because that one girl got taken. But you know what I mean?
You're in a canoe.
Yeah,
You're in a paddle boat.
yeah. And it's just a little wave. You know, you're not dying. You're not
Right.
sinking. You're not losing everything. Like it's just a little momentary like lapse. You know.
Exactly, right? It sounds so weird to say this, but I'm sure one day you'll feel like me. Where it's like I like that list I was talking about, like when I faced myself to actually do that, because it was a hard thing to do. I don't know how. I knew the answer.
Yeah.
I always knew the answer, but it was just making it real. I guess I was, even though I wasn't gonna say this publicly or I wasn't gonna say this out loud, I can say it now because I'm so open about it. But
Yeah.
like facing myself was the hardest thing when it came to asking myself, like, did I want to spend the rest of my life with this girl and go through the challenges we were going through at times? And I realized, like I said, that list I could make, pros and cons, like sometimes she hits and sometimes she hits hard.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that because
Yeah.
I already knew. As soon as I asked my own brain, I know it sounds so weird and crazy. It's my inner monologue saying, like, as soon as I asked myself this, I knew the answer was yes.
Yeah.
And I knew that so fast. And it weirdly also took a whole lot of weight off my shoulders, but I was like, okay, I don't have to look at these fights and think it's the end all be all, because we've had the conversation of like what we want the goals to be in our relationship. And now that we're aligned and everything, nothing feels like it's the end of the world. I don't think a lot of early relationships can do that. It's a benefit of a long-term relationship, or at least a relationship that's very healthy, in my opinion, where you can actually tell each other like, hey, my goal is to marry you as of right now.
Yeah.
Or my goal is to spend my life with you.
Yeah.
And if you guys have that same goal, I do think it helps alleviate a lot of stress of like, oh, if I don't freaking fix this, that goal's gone, or we're
Yeah.
gonna break up.
Like really helps get rid of the relationship anxiety of being like, oh, is this gonna end because this thing happens? When you're in an unknown situation like that, you kind of start to make up scenarios that the other
Yes.
person is thinking, and then it becomes like a whole thing, and then you're like, oh, they're probably thinking like this, they're probably thinking that. Like you start to feel like, oh, maybe they're trying to find a way out, and it's just
Yeah.
like, no, it's just you creating scenarios just because you're insecure and like you're not really expressing how you genuinely feel.
Oh, I was an insecure little bitch all the time,
Dude, I'm always
Yeah, for sure.
places.
And to your credit, like you mentioned before, like sometimes any outcome can be positive, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you do find out you just don't want to marry people, right? And you know, I know most of the examples we're giving off is for people who want to be married and they want that goal of like a family.
Yeah.
But realistically too, it's like if you don't want to get married and you find out early on and you can communicate that to a partner, you can save that person from a lot of heartache in the future and a lot of
Yeah.
issues. And you can maybe even they feel the same way,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they feel the same way and they don't want to be married either, and that this is Gucci. What we
Yeah.
have right now is cool.
Yeah, because some people are like satisfied in just being like, you know what, we're just here for a good time, not a long time, you know?
Right.
Because there are people out there for you for that reason too.
Right.
Like, you know, so it's not like just because you feel this certain way, you won't be able to find like company in anybody, you
Right.
know, because not everybody's looking for a long-term thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot to take from that, and it's funny too because this is the same podcast and show that gets canceled all the time for like their weird hot takes. And all these
Really?
things. Oh, dude.
And so you brought this upon us to get into?
I brought this. I like to start some controversy,
Oh God!
but I thought it was a good point to make. I thought it was an interesting point to make, especially because this guy specifically,
Yeah.
he was dating another girl on his show
Wow.
previously,
Uh-huh.
and she was a fan.
She was a fan of the show.
Yeah.
So he used his power against her.
Don't say it like that.
So he's canceled right now again.
Fuck, dude. No, but they're like 45. Okay, they're not young people. So the lady was
Hey,
like
man,
30.
power is power.
Oh my god. She messaged him. Anyways,
Oh, you're blaming the victim. You're blaming the victim. Holy shit, man.
but his relationship was shit.
Yeah.
It was shit, and it was the same thing I'm talking about, like no communication, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was like relatable. I was like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah.
And they talked about it, and it was crazy because he kept saying like, I'm not capable of showing love. I'm not capable of
Oh.
showing affection.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, this other girl comes, and another host named Steve, he says he's like you'll find your person. Like
Yeah.
everyone has their person, and when you find your best friend, it's the best fucking thing ever because they get
yeah.
you. And I feel like for him, he's very lucky because he's a very lovey-dovey. He's a very good man,
Yeah.
and it worked out for him where his best friend all the time. But someone like Joe, who's ADHD as fuck, who's crazy, who can't show affection all the time, but he can speak his mind decently well. He found his person who matched that. So it might not be, and even he admits now, like that's his best friend.
Yeah.
Like that's his person, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Steve has the same type of relationship that Joe has.
Yeah.
It just so happens that they found their best friend through finding their person and their version of a relationship
Yeah.
that works for them.
Yeah.
So like, I think you're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to leave the listeners with one last thing. And this is an old one since we're just looking at this channel.
Okay.
I love one thing they mentioned a long time ago, and it helped me for a while, and it was called pulling out the arrows.
Okay.
Every time you had an argument and you did something to someone or said something to someone where it hurt them and they still have that arrow in them, you got to pull out the arrow. So basically face that thing you did to them. Address it and say like what you need to say about it, right? Let's say I fucked up. I didn't respect your event. Let's just say an example. I didn't go to your thing that you planned.
Yeah.
Instead of holding that grudge against me, we need to sit down and actually face it.
Yeah.
And pull that arrow out.
Yeah.
And make up for it or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best things I've ever heard because I'm like, you know what? I don't care what anyone says. Sometimes I'm guilty of this too, where I will say, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them, I'm letting this go. Let's just forget about it.
But like the arrow's still there.
The resentment still lasts.
Yeah.
And I think resentment is one of the biggest killers of relationships.
Yeah, because in like that same analogy, the arrow is making you bleed out internally, you know? And it's just like if you don't address it and you don't like heal it, it's gonna fucking kill you. And that it could ruin the relationship.
I think exactly.
Yeah.
I think that will ruin any relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad to say now, like, I found my person.
Yeah.
And I feel great knowing that if there's any arrows still in me,
Yeah.
she will pull them out.
Yeah. And it's in your butt because you guys are doing butt stuff.
Yuck. Anyways, if you guys have any relationship tips,
Yeah.
I want to hear them because it'd be interesting for someone who's like me who wants to get to that next stage of like relationship. Like, I want to get married.
Immortality.
Immortality is the goal. We've always known this. Immortality is the goal.
Yeah.
But Alex, someone who's a little more fresh in this world.
Yeah.
But he's happy about it.
Yeah.
Not many people can say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, also just, I feel like there are the relationships that are very early on and like they start off super well and like everything's sunshine and rainbows or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't think those last. I genuinely don't
Yes.
think they do because then it's like the second, like, say like everything is peach perfect, blah, blah, blah. The second something comes up, I think it becomes way harder to deal with.
Yeah,
in the
because
long
like,
term.
hey man, why aren't you making your jokes? Why aren't you doing your sexy thing? Why aren't you doing this thing? It's like I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for the tears and the problems. I signed up for the jokes and the sexy times.
Yeah.
Right?
And then it's just like the one that is made for you is the one that will like stick through like all the storms, you know?
Right. And
Yeah.
I think everyone can find their person. And I
Yeah.
do think some people will have harder time until they learn how to face themselves and learn how to communicate with themselves and vice versa communicate to their partners in the
Yeah.
future. But like I said, give us some relationship tips. It'd be interesting to get relationship tips where we both react to it, because I think our perspective would be so different based on
Ooh.
our relationship lengths different. We might have the same quality of relationship right now, but that experience definitely does play a factor in it, I think,
Yeah.
long term. So it'd be interesting. But let us know. You can send in those tips at LFTVRSPOD on TikTok. Let us know what you guys think. We will post a TikTok saying like, hey, what is your best relationship tip? And comment below and let us know, and we'll go through that in a future episode.
Ooh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, and I can't wait to tell you guys how wrong you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you should tell her good morning every morning and good night every night. It's like, no, sometimes she doesn't text me back because she fell asleep.
Sometimes it's not a good morning. Sometimes it rained.
Sometimes it's really bad. Sometimes I drooled on the fucking pillow and I
Yeah.
woke up in it and I feel
Yeah.
disgusting. And but hypothetically,
Sometimes I wake up in my own piss.
because I sleep next to the toilet, so I can't miss.
I have a fear of the toilet, so I stick to pissing in the bed.
I can't miss.
I can't miss because it's all around me.
Yeah, but sometimes you still hit the wall.
Oh, God.
Well, this is James, and this is your piss boy.
This was Alex, and that's your piss boy.
No, that's you. I can hit the toilet.
From how it sounds, it makes it seem like you're like, this is James, and this is your piss boy.
Oh
You
no,
know?
I meant I was trying to no.
Bye.
I can hit the toilet. Leftovers podcast. Follow us.
Leftovers, 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 leftovers.
She's gonna hear this. She's gonna want to ring.